When you see me, do you believe that I deserve to live? I'm openly transgender. So that is not a question that is always a yes. It resides in my mind every time I meet a new person. What does it mean to be transgender? All it means is that I don't identify with the gender that I was assigned at birth. That's it. This identity has been around for a very long time. However, our movement, especially that in connection with the LGBTQ community at large, has only been around since the 1960s. You might be asking, what happened in the 1960s to spur this movement? It was a long building movement where police had been raiding gay bars, especially those frequented by Black and transgender people, and forcing them out of the spaces where they felt safe. On June 28, 1969, during a police raid on the Stonewall Inn, the community collectively decided that they had had enough. It is unsure exactly who started the riots, or if they were a spontaneous group action, but they changed the way LGBTQ folk fight for our rights eternally. Those riots, just as other movements in our community, had a large influence from transgender people. These were people like Stormy DeLaVere, Miss Major Griffin Gracie, Sylvia Rivera, and Marsha P. Johnson. Transgender people have been around for ages. We are obviously still around today, but we are still struggling for basic human rights. What are the current struggles of transgender people? This may come as a shock to some people in my audience today, but we are in more danger today, according to the human rights movement, than we have been since they started recording the hate crimes against us. Just within 2020, there were 44 transgender people murdered. In 2021, there have been 15 so far. The youngest of those people killed this year was a 16-year-old transgender boy who was murdered alongside of his non-binary sibling who was only 22. The oldest transgender woman killed this year was 34. This is a grim outlook for the future of transgender people, especially those in vulnerable situations like Black trans women, and the violence is only exacerbated by the 82 transgender bills all over the US right now. This is a symbol put out to honor those we have lost in our community. We must fight and keep fighting to survive. This is an image of a protest against one of the 82 bills that is happening in the state right now. According to NBC, the bills in North Carolina seek to remove all transgender-related medical care for anyone under the age of 21 and would force state employees to disclose any gender nonconformity to parents, removing any privacy those kids once had. And even though those bills are horrifying, there are far scarier bills in states such as Florida and Texas. This is all very grim. However, there are actions that we can take to combat the hatred against transgender people. Because of our low numbers and low influence in comparison to how many bills there are being written against us, we need the help of people outside of our community. This is a cry for help. Please call your representatives. Ask them to vote against these bills. And if they have voted against them, call them and thank them. Without access to transition-related medical care, I would not be alive today. And I am not the only one who is in that situation. If you care at all for the equality and lives of those around you, fight alongside us, uplift trans voices, and speak out against the hate that is building year after year. Thank you.